we had, in a sense, a very good relationship with the civil rights leaders, but the civil rights leaders were always critical of what we were doing and always felt we weren't doing enough. I think they were quite right in taking that view, but we couldn't figure out how to do what it was they wanted us to do, or that was in the interest of the country to do it. We did a great deal, but the answer had to be legislation. You had to have not the president, not the attorney general involved in this, not even the Supreme Court with the Brown case and so forth. You really had to have the Congress and the people behind this. You weren't going to get anywhere until that happened. And that was what we were trying to do. And thanks to Dr. King and the many people that worked with him in those peaceful demonstrations that he had, thanks to television for showing what the local sheriff's offices and police officers were doing, finally people said this is wrong. And we were able to get that legislation, not by Democrats, but by Democrats and Republicans working together. Difficult at times. He was a great leader and deserves enormous credit for what he did. It wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't have succeeded in the 60s without the leadership of Martin Luther King. He was difficult only in the sense that he wanted you to do what he wanted you to do, and you couldn't always do it. I don't know what Americans' understanding of the civil rights movement is. If I had anything I wanted to correct, it would be this: that the abuse of blacks in this country started long before the Constitution with slavery. We couldn't resolve it in the Constitution. We couldn't resolve it with a civil war in the 1860s. It continued to be a blemish on this whole country. And what was important to get people to understand in the 60s, and it's still important for people to understand today, that civil rights is not doing something for African Americans, it's doing something for all of us. Because it is building a society that doesn't have stupid prejudices, that can listen to other people, that can tolerate differences. That's the country we have been, and that's the country we should be. I think we've made an enormous amount of progress, but we've also there's a lot of bias that still exists. And there's a lot of inequality that still exists. The black middle class has done very well. And so that you see movie actors, you see judges, you see lawyers, you see business people, you even see some CEOs. And that's all good. But you also see far too many African Americans in jail, far too many African Americans unemployed. And we have to do something, have to continue to do things that try to lift the bottom to get it closer to the middle.